That's the only reason why you can actually envision it, because it actually is happening on one timeline or another, in one parallel universe or another. If you remember the movie Interstellar, in that movie, we had the main actor. He was in space and he ended up coming in through a tesseract where his spaceship dissolved, and he ended up in a tesseract, a fourth dimensional hypercube. And in this fourth dimensional hypercube, also known in ancient times, according to the ancient Sumerians and many others, as Metatron's cube. Does that sound familiar to you? Meta, M-E-T-A, Metatron's cube. And of course, you know, you have Megatron from Transformers, who has the Allspark, which is a fourth dimensional hypercube in his chest. This source of unparalleled power and energy, this multidimensional energy, has been known for a very, very long time. And in that movie, Interstellar, you see that as he's inside of the Tesseract, he's able to see his daughter inside of their house, inside of their home, even though he's in a higher dimension. But he can see her at different ages in different rooms within that house. Because anything higher than the third dimension, you can see the past, present, and future all at once. Okay? The past, present, and future all at once. And so you have to understand that anything higher than the third dimension, that being or that entity would have the ability to see all potential outcomes simultaneously. To show you what's going on here, we're in the third dimension. We move around on the XYZ axis. We're able to manipulate objects in this dimension. When we put a line on a piece of paper, one line, that's one dimension. And because we're in the third dimension, we can interact with that line. We can actually intersect it with another line. We can view it from different angles, right? We can manipulate that line. We can even erase it because we're in a higher dimension. If we were one-dimensional beings, we would only perceive the interaction from a third dimensional being as a dot. It would appear to be a dot just appearing before us. We wouldn't be able to recognize the full structure of, let's say, a human being interacting with that line. We can't perceive outside of the one dimension. In the second dimension, that's where we connect multiple lines to create, for example, we want to draw a house with multiple lines connecting. Well, we being in the third dimension, we can see all inside of the house. We can see inside of the closets. We can see inside of the garage. We can see inside of the kitchen. We can see the characters that we might want to draw inside of different rooms in the house. We might put a kid in the bedroom, the mother in the kitchen, and maybe we put the father inside the garage. We can manipulate them. We can erase them and put them in different areas of the house, however we want. We can see right through the walls and see right into their lives because we are in the third dimension. So we can manipulate and impact the second dimension. Now they might see us interacting with them or experience us as paranormal activity, or they may see spheres appearing out of nowhere. They may see spherical objects as we are intersecting with the second dimension. However, they can't perceive, again, the full structure of our being and what's outside of the second dimension because they're only two-dimensional. They're fully immersed in 2D. We are in the third dimension. So we can only perceive everything from the third, second, and first. We can't go higher than the third. We have trouble even in physics trying to perceive the way that a fourth dimensional hypercube actually works. A tesseract or a Metatron's cube. We can only hypothesize its look and shape. But because we are trapped in 3D, we can't really see anything outside of this dimension. So we know that they are there because the mathematics proves that they're there. The physics proves that the other dimensions are there. We just don't know how to access them at this moment. Now, higher than the third dimension, we could possibly see what we may perceive as paranormal activity.